Guys, welcome to CageSide. I'm Wes.
I'm the Rage.
Welcome to your monthly MMA show. Let's get the show going with highlights of EFC Africa 23.
EFC Africa presents Africa's greatest warriors, Michiel Opperman versus Dino Bagatine. Michiel Opperman, the submission king of the EFC Africa hexagon.
Michiel Opperman entered EFC Africa as a decorated striker. He has submitted every single one of his opponents and he's made it look easy.
Oh my goodness, Michiel gets the submission victory! Michiel Opperman gets the W!
Michiel Opperman is the EFC Africa welterweight champion for one simple reason: his unparalleled work ethic.
The scary thing is, we haven't even seen half of his abilities. Just how good is Michiel Opperman?
Opperman submitted every single opponent inside the first 2 rounds, building an unbelievable 7-fight win streak. At EFC Africa 16, he finally got a shot at the title.
There have been a lot of surprises in the history of EFC Africa, but nothing can compare to Michiel submitting Jadison.
He's a huge talent, but he faces a massive task against Jadison Costa tonight. The only guy that would be able to beat Jadison Costa would be a kind of guy that's a great striker, can stay on the outside and stay out of trouble, and definitely not go and play Jadison's game on the ground.
At the time of their fight, Jadison Costa was seen to be unbeatable. Michiel went in there, took his belt, and he made it look easy.
But the worst spot we've ever seen Jadison in an UFC, Michiel gets body triangle locked up. Oh my word! It's a huge upset!
Not a lot of people know that he used to fight at heavyweight. He is huge for a welterweight.
Michiel is an incredibly intelligent fighter. He's finished every single one of his opponents. It really is no surprise that he is the division's champion.
Dino Bagatine, former British and Commonwealth Muay Thai champion.
Dino Bagatine is a fan favorite and is one of EFC Africa's biggest stars.
Crowd getting behind Dino Bagatine. Oh, he rocked him. He has rocked him. Jacoby is in big trouble.
Dino Bagatine is a veteran of the EFC Africa hexagon. He made his debut all the way back at EFC 01.
Bagatine has electrified fans with his lightning-fast strikes and uncompromising fighting style. He is an athlete that pushes his own limits with every encounter, constantly adding new weapons to an already formidable arsenal.
In the Dallas Jacoby fight, we actually saw how good Dino is. He had great transitions between his combinations, incredible footwork, good cardio, and he's truly going to be a nightmare for anyone standing.
Hand speed ridiculous. Another one. Jacoby is in big trouble. Stops it. Dino Bagatine gets the victory.
There was a lot of hype going into the Tyron Rightford fight, and that fight delivered. Both guys were swinging for the fences, and Dino was the one that came out on top. Earned his title shot with a massive right hand.
Pretty close here. Crowd has come alive. Oh, wow. That's all over.
Dino Bagatine guarantees excitement.
What makes Dino Bagatine so incredibly dangerous is the fact that he can literally finish a fight with one single punch.
Oh, big right hand.
Dino Bagatine believes he is the best in the welterweight division, and this is his chance to prove it.
EFC Africa 23, Michiel Opperman versus Dino Bagatine. 12 September, live from Carnival City.
Yeah, guys, EFC Africa 23, one of the more controversial EFCs out there, definitely, with a couple of decisions that maybe didn't go the way, or the results didn't go the way that people wanted it to go. Let's start off with...
At least expected it to go. That was kind of...
yeah, definitely. Boyd versus Wesley. I have to say, I have never, ever seen Wesley dominated, or quite simply having its ass.
That's one, to me, one of those results that, you know, we expected it to be the cracker fight. These two have been... their stars aligned to fight so many times, and it didn't happen, and eventually we had Boyd versus Wesley, and then it went down the way it went down. To me personally, disappointment. I wanted to see those two guys rip each other apart, and big up to Boyd, my man. Don't know what's next for you, but it was an impressive win yet again. A lot of people were talking about the caliber that you have been facing. Now you have faced the top caliber and disposed of it fairly easily.
Yeah, no one can come back and say that Boyd's not the real deal. He definitely is the real deal. He spoke afterwards in the press conference saying that he will remain the gatekeeper of the featherweight title until the time comes that it is maybe relinquished or lost, and then I think we might see him going for a title, but maybe a lightweight fight with the Ninja might be in order.
That's personally what I'd like to see. The current next step, in my opinion, for Boyd is one of two ways. If the results we're going to chat about just now with Gareth and Katz goes either way, perhaps Boyd in that mix, or alternatively I'd like to see Freddie and Boyd throw down purely from excitement factor. I think that'll be a phenomenal crackover fight. So, but let's see what the future holds and what next.
Yeah, definitely. Then what about my main man Hercules up against Martin van Staden? Yo.
Impressive. I've been hearing from so many sources that this Felipe is the real deal. He has exceptional skills, and we didn't really see it in that first fight. Bearing in mind it was his first travel year, his
and
first
a higher weight class, all of that. But boy, did we see it against Martin. He put on a impressive display against arguably one of the top 3 welterweights in this country that we have, and he disposed of Martin like it was nothing. His skill set was what we've been saying for a long time. Is I don't think the internationals are so far ahead of us, but the guys with international exposure, they just have that something more, you know. And we saw it on that night. I mean, the last time I saw Martin being dominated like this was when he fought Jeremy Smith, and this is a couple of years ago. And to be quite frank, not even Jeremy Smith dominated him like Fadipe dominated him. I really think Fadipe probably early next year will get a title shot. I think he is the real deal. Definitely someone that would be deserving of a matchup with Dino, which is something that I think could actually be pretty explosive between the two of them.
We all know Graham does a lot of things the way Graham does it, so it's just an opinion. What I'd like to see personally next would be Michiel take on Fadipe and have the winner of that get a crack at the gold again. Fadipe being the rising star, Michiel being the ex-champ. I personally think if those two can throw down, then yeah, I think we've got a deserving #1 contender. I'm not too sure where all of this leaves Martin in this mix, but yeah, I think the welterweight division is healthy at this point in time.
It is extremely healthy. Then what I would like to call the co-main event, because it wasn't the main event as far as I or anyone else is concerned for that matter, Saws against Andrew. I said in the previous show, it's not that I'm being nasty towards Saws or anything like that, but Saws won matches, but these were matches that did not really mean anything for his career. He took on Andrew van Zyl. Andrew van Zyl, a far superior athlete.
Yeah.
The most that I saw Saws do was crawl up in the turtle position and receive shots on the side of his head the entire evening, or the 6-7 minutes that he was in there.
What we said in the previous fight, or in the previous show, was that it wasn't just yet time for Saws to do that. We didn't think he had enough to take on one gear, and we were dead right.
Yeah.
It was a complete waste of a heavyweight title fight. Make no mistake, Saws had moments. I think perhaps a bit of lack of experience inside the cage as a whole, not necessarily fighting, because if he could have kept his distance and not rushed in like we see on the amateur level when guys have only had 4, 5, 6 fights, like Saws has only had a couple of MMA fights in his life. He was rocking Andrew. He was tagging him with big punches. If he'd had enough experience, the composure to back off and say, let's do that again, let's rock you all night, let's back up, I'm going to tag you the whole evening. We may have had a title fight on our hands, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, it didn't work out that way, and I don't know what happens next with the heavyweight division.
Well, obviously it's going to be Potts taking on Micholas, which I think is nothing more but a dress rehearsal. That being said, anybody who's in with a lucky shot, and as long as Ricky doesn't hurt his hand, he'll probably have a chance of a lucky shot. I don't see that happening, but that fight should have always been Ruan Potts against Andrew van Zyl. Not taking anything away from Saws, I do believe you give Saws another year or so, another 2 or 3 fights in the cage.
Yeah.
This man is definitely going to be someone that will be able to challenge for the heavyweight title at a later time and actually make an impact doing it.
Fully agreed. It's what I've been saying. It's not that I'm calling him an amateur fighter. I'm saying the amount of cage time, the amount of experience, because he didn't climb through the standard ranks or the standard routes of cage fighting, taking nothing away from his kickboxing and his K1 background, he just needs a bit more time. So perhaps you did right. Maybe a year from now, we're going to see Soares going for his second crack at the gold, and like I said, this time around also he had the skills. He just lacked some game plan / composure when things were going his way to handle that nicely. And obviously developing his ground game would be something that he needs to have a serious look at.
Definitely main event, my man.
Dino, well done, my man. You're the champ. I personally have been saying this now for about 3 of your fights. You won me over the period of the last year. I never used to be a fan, and you have developed into a top class fighter in this country. On the other hand, Michiel showed up on the night, and you know, he wasn't right. The whole country's talking about it. Something about him just didn't look right on the evening. He looked out of place, like we've never seen him in the cage before from the get-go. And I think whatever the reason was for this, we'll have to admit that the champ's Dino right now, but make no mistake, Michiel's going to at some point have to get redemption for what went down that night. He stuck in there as long as he could. He put up one hell of a fight, considering that clearly there was something wrong. We don't know what, but something was up. And like I said, Fadipe Michiel, let's see. We know that gets a crack at Dino again, and it's been the case of combat sports forever. You're not the champ until you've defended your belt.
Yeah.
If Dino's indeed the best our welterweight division in this country has, let's see him defend that belt against one of those two guys and see what happens then.
No, most definitely. And another thing that I really think we should add on to that is I have it on good authority that Michiel actually entered that bout with severely fractured ribs. I think we could see that from the get-go. Michiel not his normal self, not standing up straight, not throwing those kicks that we used to from his Kai Cushion background. We never once heard from his fight camp that anything was wrong. We never heard once anything out of his mouth, or after the bout for that matter. That just shows the caliber of fighter that he is. He doesn't make excuses. Fact of the matter is, Dino won the fight. Dino's conditioning was
top class. Top class. His footwork, his hands.
The best I've seen in the UFC so far. To be that fresh after 5 rounds. Look, I know you said he didn't know where he was after that, and I'm not surprised because it was a fast-paced match.
It was a massive fight, and you know, it showed superior conditioning, superior superior skill development on Dino's side, and he did the right things right. His ability to avoid those takedowns were unreal.
His base was very good.
I was looking at it in shock and awe. I was sitting there and going, that is what a sprawl and brawl game plan looks like.
Definitely.
And you know, when they write the textbook on how to do it, that should be the fight that gets included. So yeah, make no mistake, to add on to that, CIT is a top-notch camp. I personally love that mentality. You never hear them coming out saying this and that and excuses and whatever. They take their wins with extreme pride, and they take their losses with humility, and they move on. They never cry. So big up to Michiel. If whatever went down that night went down, but big up for showing up, fighting, and actually putting up a fight. Hard luck on the loss, and Dino, big up, my man. You're the champ. Enjoy.
Awesome stuff, man. Then my man Rage caught up with EFC Africa middleweight champion heading into EFC Africa 24. Let's check out this interview with Jeremy Smith.
EFC Africa 24, the second chapter of the biggest rivalry in EFC Africa, is about to be written as the middleweight champion Jeremy Smith goes to war with the former champion Gareth McClellan. Plus, the most dominant champion on the continent, DeMart the Wolf Penna, will put it all on the line against the devastating kicks of Elaine Ilunga. Thursday, 10 October, EFC Africa 24, live only on Supersport, your world of champions.
We're very fortunate to catch up with EFC middleweight champion Jeremy Smith. Jeremy, thank you very much for having us. We know you're busy. We know it takes a lot to prepare for a title fight, so thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to roll straight into it to find out from you exactly where did Jeremy Smith start? Where did football start? Where does this all come from?
Actually, started with Thai boxing. I think I was about 15 or 16. I was training for 1 month at my first amateur fight. Lost some points actually. And then after that, I started coming more when I was pro when I was 20. I was 20 years old, almost 21 basically. So 8 years ago to the day.
That's amazing.
And then just went for that and then MMA and
Before you knew it,
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true story. Very few fighters can boast such an impressive record as yours, and you spent some time abroad, spent some time in the States, getting a lot of experience fighting the very, very experienced Joe Rage. And with that said, coming back to South African MMA as a whole, how do you think that experience developed you as a fighter, and where do you think African MMA is lacking?
Developed me as a fighter quite a lot, because it showed me where I needed to fight, certain aspects of my game that needed to developed. I learned how to do things better over there. I didn't live there. I stayed there for about a month at a time. The experience was great. I put my life in a whole new world, and it just showed that I need to put more time into certain aspects of the game. With regards to how far South Africa is behind, we're moving leaps and bounds on this. 5 years ago, we were nowhere. We didn't go very much anywhere else. That's why we're fighting these things, because we were very quickly, and about 5 years behind. We will take certain aspects more, certain aspects less. I'll stand up, it's the amount of the pool to draw from, to train with. Also over there, the professionals, so you can do sparring at 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning as we're here. Other people have other jobs as well. So people have actual professional sparring with the training with the straight to that side of the game. That should be getting attention. We're not getting it.
I was saying the other day, sorry, I'm putting off the question, that I think perhaps North America specifically may be quite a bit behind.
But the rest of the world beyond.
I don't think we're that far behind. Training with a tremendous campaign, JJ Blackout, Mark Herbert here, you've got Nick Durant in your corner who in his own right has a duffel bag full of trophies on his pedestal. What is that, not what does that mean, we know what that means, but how do you think that puts you apart? How does that make you the great champion?
Well, I've always trained hard. With them, there's no you're the champion, let's base you, and it's oh, you tired, and there's none of that. When you walk in the gym, you're the same as the other next. It's exactly the same. Doesn't matter if you're the world champion, or if you're South African champion, or if you're all the same. That's what I like about it. We're all training, we're all there to sweat and bleed, and that's it. What you put in, what you get out, what they both live by. So it works very well for me. That's what I live by.
That's good. Hard work pays off. It's the name of the game.
Train on fighting.
Specifically since we saw you return to South African MMA and you getting the title for the year, then defending it against Darren Daniels, has those two fights taught you anything that has made you develop in a different direction? Has anything changed since then?
Well, I learn from every fight. I take every fight as a learning curve. I always like to take something from the fight. It's hard to specify what I've taken from each fight, but yes, I've taken certain things. After every fight, we sit down, we analyze, okay, where were my weaknesses, where were my strong points,
what went right,
focus on this, what we mustn't do the next time, and what we must do more of. So for every fight, I do take something.
That's always good. I suppose that's the most important part in
every
the
fight
process.
is a learning curve.
I'd like to know, particularly myself, also going through camps myself, I definitely run into it. If you'd be willing to share with us, what's your biggest mental block that you hit when in training? We all pick up injuries, something happens, all of those are the norms. What is what Jeremy fights with? What do you go through?
We
all have something.
It's difficult, like the sacrifices that you've got to make. Bed early, that you can't do this, you can't eat that. I love my food. Like I love to eat, I love my pizza, I love my pasta. So that sort of stuff. Like sometimes you don't feel like that, but you have. And you don't feel like doing that, but you 6K jog in the morning when the lights are still dark and all of that, but you do it. You get through it. So it makes me champion or not.
Yeah, got to do today what you want, so I can do tomorrow what you can't.
Exactly. 100%.
Definitely. Do you have any obvious question or question with a maybe very obvious answer? Where does Pitbull come?
I think it's the way our fights are very tough. Once you get older, you go.
The tenacious.
Yeah,
thought that was the answer, but
I'm still coming at you.
the fans have been begging us to ask where does it come from.
Actually, my first fight, I had a nickname to go with that nickname. And then after that fight,
kept going.
Pushing.
Love that style of fighting. It's a good style of fighting.
Ground up.
That's the one. Having spoken a bit about how ISA has evolved, and especially with the entrance of EFC growing over the last 5 years, whatever the case may be, with fighters out there today that may be idolizing you, maybe idolizing whoever in the EFC, wanting to get into the sport, what would you tell them? What is the right route to do this to prevent entrance and exit out of the sport all the time? How do you become a professional?
Train hard, stay focused, dedication, and hard work pays off. What you put in, like I said, what you put in is what you get out. So, while you train, you fight. You want to get into it. It's a lot of sacrifice. Make sure it's the right thing you want to do before you start doing it. Because if you're only going half-hearted, you're going to get hurt. There's a lot of injuries, and it's not like a cricket game. If you mess up, you go out. This, you mess up, you get knocked out. Break an arm or shoulder. So make sure it's the right thing you want to do. If you want to be a full-time career, put everything you got into it. You can't go half-hearted. You've got to give it 110%, 110% all the time.
No, I can imagine. With the EFC 24 round corner, we know you defended the title against Gareth McClellan. What can Gareth expect from you in this fight, if you're willing to say?
What you can expect from any other fighter that I do fight is expecting a fight. Coming to fight up. If he's going to move, I'm going to come for it. If he's going to engage, I'm going to engage. If he's going to go to the ground, he can go to the ground. I don't mind. You can expect a fight. Train all aspects of my game, and I'm ready to fight. That's what it is too.
That's all we expect. That's all we expect. Lastly, I'd like to again say thank you very much for the time. Give you the opportunity. If there's anybody, I don't want to put you on the spot. I know that's a list as long as you're formed. If there's anybody you want to thank,
I just want to thank my whole team. Everyone at Guerrilla Warfare and Victorant. Everyone who put in the extra hours with me and the extra time. And thank the fans for supporting, because you make it sport for us. So just thank you to all my sponsors for sticking by me with my hand injury and all that. All the new ones I picked up and all that. Thank you very much.
Jeremy,
thanks for having me.
That's a pleasure. Now you've got to get back to training. Thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it. Guys, check this man out defending his title next week. Carnival City, EFC 24, 10 October. Don't miss it. Get your tickets right now, guys. This is the Rage signing out.
Alright guys, EFC Africa 24. It is the most loaded fight card in EFC Africa.
If this card delivers, it'll be the epitome of EFC. They've got all the makings of multiple fight of the nights and fight of the year possibilities. Unfortunately, it's MMA.
Yeah, so, Graham has done a great job. Yeah. First matchup that really interests me is Wade Henderson versus David Bierski. David coming in with a lot of momentum behind him after beating Radley. Wade, being the gatekeeper of the middleweight division, is dropping down to welterweight once again. It's going to be an extremely interesting bout. If this bout goes to the ground, I don't think David has what it takes to beat Wade on the ground, taking Wade's jits experience into consideration. But if David plays the same strategy as what JP did against Wade, I don't think that Wade will stay awake long enough to go to the ground. It's definitely going to be a fun match to watch, if anything.
It's going to be a fun match. I mean, everybody knows I'm a Bursky Army supporter through and through. So without really going into too much of it, the bottom line for me is I think Dave will take this. I think it will be phenomenal for his career. Wade has been around for a long time. Wade's accomplished a lot of things.
Yeah.
Win or loss, he's fought a lot of the who's who that this country's ever produced. And I think you're dead right. Off Wade's back is probably his best chance. We've seen that before as well. That's where he wants to take you. That's where he wants to lure you. Of course, having to deal with the raw Bursky power is something different.
That is the other thing as well.
That's the factor I think is going to tip this. If Wade can overcome Dave's power, then Dave may be in for a night of a fight. And if he cannot, I don't know if his gas tank's going to last David's gas tank. David can do that for a very long time. I personally know this, and it's an exciting fight. You did right. It's not a clear-cut fight this way, that way. I think it's going to be a good fight.
Definitely. And then we have one of our boys, JC Lambrecht going up against the CIT Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
Drickus a powerhouse, absolute powerhouse. But then again, so is JC.
So is JC, man.
They're
JC,
so similar.
Yeah.
So similar.
That's it. That's the thing is, I think the main factor we'd have to bring into account here would be the striking Drickus possesses. He comes with a lot of pedigree when it comes to striking, and I think that's what makes it exciting for me. Is that the one time we saw JC lose a fight was a night that he couldn't quite get past the range of a top caliber boxer like Dan Sinclair. So can Drickus outstrike him? JC's been putting in a lot of hours with his striking. He's really upped his game, tightened up the hands, tightened up the footwork, been moving better. And then Drickus comes with this phenomenal grappling pedigree. We've seen him at a bunch of comps over the last year doing amazing things. But JC, man, JC on the ground's another beast. So again, here we go, fight of the night written all over it. Maybe we all get shocked, and this has one of those fight of the year things like Dan and JC, you know, one of those fights again. Who knows? This is an exciting fight to look out for.
Definitely, I got it round 2 TKO JC Lambrecht.
Yeah, I also think if JC can take this a bit further, I'm not sure Drickus has the gas tank to go with JC. And we all know the moment your gas starts going, it doesn't matter what skill level you're at, it comes down, and JC's gas never goes down. He never runs out of gas. So we'll see. It's an exciting fight, really exciting fight.
Then we have one of these fights that people really want to see. The return of the prodigal son, Brendan Katz versus the man on a mission, winner of Knockout of the Year, Garrett Bierski.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to when I said fight of the year written all over this. If we thought Katz and Costa back then was an exciting one, or you know, any of those things, this can end up being the fight of the year, or it can end up being the disappointment. This I'm really worried about the ring rust, if you so could call it. Katz hasn't stepped in that cage for a long time. Bierski's been in the cage over the last 12 or so months a couple of times. He's been in and out of camps the whole time over the last year and a half. He's on the rise. Katz is taking a big step up for his first fight back, fighting a guy like Gareth. Both phenomenal cardio. They can both go the distance at full tilt all the time. I'd have to give the superior skill on footwork side to Brendan Katz.
Definitely.
And I don't necessarily think he has more experience. I really don't think
Not
so.
Not anymore.
He may have had when he exited, but right now Garrett's up there. And Garrett definitely has the power advantage. So it's a stylistic matchup of note. Can Brendan Katz keep this a boxing fight, keep it stand up and outstrike Garrett, or Gareth put him down and hurt him on the ground and out-wrestle and out-bully him until he quits?
Could be amazing, could be a letdown, one of those two things, definitely. In Potts against Michalis, the fight that should have happened. As far as I'm concerned, nothing but a walk in the park. Potts to take this round 1 TKO. Ricky Michalis, as far as I'm concerned, should not even be in the EFC.
Up until the prediction, I'm fully with you. I also think it's a first round fight. Ricky doesn't know what it takes to hang with Potts. I don't see it going TKO. I think Potts will submit him. I watched Potts at that grappling comp the other day, that monster clash, and his ability to take big, powerful men, put them on their back and submit them in phenomenal speed and in short periods of time is amazing. We saw it last time around with the Egyptian, that he just toyed with him like it was a play in the park. That's it. And I think the same thing's going to happen. Michalis has those heavy hands, and we've seen that Roodman is durable. He can last. He can
take shots from the biggest of them. So Ricky can't come into this fight thinking that he's going to knock him out just for the fun of it. I mean, he quite simply just wants to come in with one shot. And we've seen Roodman can take shots from Bernardo Makishi.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing is Ricky needs to go into this knowing that his best chance he has is to try and knock him out. But can he? I don't know, and that's what makes it all exciting again. Is if one big one lands on the chin, no matter what Potts can take, he's not superhuman. He's not beyond human. You can knock him out. So maybe Ricky can make it stick. I don't think so, but that's why we love the sport, man.
Exactly, man. Winner of this fight, of course, gets a shot at Andrew van Zyl, most probably on the December fight card, if all things go well.
I assume we'll be seeing Roodman Potts versus Andrew van Zyl 3. And that'll be a biggie.
Yeah, Pena Ilunga.
That's it.
Pena keeps on coming. undefeated featherweight champion, the youngest EFC champion, the only EFC champion that has remained undefeated. As far as I'm concerned, definitely a future Hall of Famer.
For sure. I mean, he's so young. He's got so many years ahead of him. And this is, again, a title fight worth seeing. Ilunga deserves the crack. I don't think he's going to take it. I don't know why, though. I don't know what makes Pena so good. He has that X factor they talk about, because he somehow puts it all together. He's not the greatest striker this country's ever had. He's not the greatest wrestler. But he's for damn sure the greatest champion. He keeps winning fights. He keeps defending that belt. I think if Ilunga can't keep off his back, which is obviously where Pena's going to try and take this, he's going to stand a bit with him. We've seen the Pena game plan work day in and day out. Bring the kicks, bring the strikes, put him on his back and out wrestle him. If you can't prevent that, if you can prevent that takedown, then Ilunga has a real shot at this, outstriking him and trying to put the mark away from a standing position. But I don't see that happening.
No,
can he stop the DeMar takedown? That's the big question, and I don't think so.
Look, Ilunga put a massive beating on Marcus Toliot, but then again, we have to look at the caliber of competition.
That's it. What would Pena have done with Marcus?
Yeah.
You know, so Ilunga went up against Boyd before. We saw what happened there. One of his few real big challenges. He's had quite a few challenges. Deserve it totally to have this title shot. But hey, again, that's the story of this card for me. It's the classic tale of what should happen, but what's going to happen. And that's what makes this exciting.
Definitely. And then, of course, we run into the biggest fight in EFC Africa history. Bigger than the first meeting. Yeah. This is Pitbull versus Soulja Boy version 2.
Firstly, I want to put out there that I don't think Soulja Boy deserves the crack right now. I understand politics. I understand why it's happening. I understand that we've got to make this fight happen now. I would have liked for him to put up a dominant display one time before he gets a crack at the gold, especially considering that he's not the only option. There's guys like JP Kruger hovering, Liam Cleland hovering up there. You know, there's a lot of things going on in what I believe is the epitome of MMA in South Africa, the middleweight belt, not the heavyweight belt, as is historically the case with combat sports. I believe the middleweight belt is where the Darren Daniels, the Pitbull Smiths, the Soulja Boy McClellans, that's where the big dogs of this country's MMA run. And yeah, so with that said, exciting matchup as hell. Can Jeremy do it again? You know, can he put Soulja Boy away for a second time? I firmly believe so. I don't see Soulja Boy walking away the champ next week. But on the other side of that thing, can he lure Soulja Boy into a fight? Can he make it a dirty, nasty brawl and hurt Soulja Boy from there? Or is Soulja Boy going to show up with the level of class we know he has and run a 25-minute fight where he just outmoves, outskills and outclasses Jeremy? That's the question.
That's why I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit different. We know that Soulja Boy has been preparing for this fight very, very, very hard and for very long.
And to interrupt you there, we know how Richie and the boys at FFF prepare for a fight. We've said it time in and time out on the show. Those guys are really they're the benchmark in this country of proper camps, proper preparation. So make no mistake, Soulja Boy is going to come into this adequately prepared to fight for a title.
I'm going to have to say I think Soulja Boy is going to take this. It's not going to be a finish. You're not going to KO or submit Jeremy Smith.
No.
His chin is way too hard and his submission defense is way too good. I think this is going to be a 5-rounder. Soulja Boy is going to play the intelligent game here. He's going to go in, he's going to score the points. It's going to be 5 rounds. And I think come 10 October, we are looking at a new middleweight champion.
We'll have to see come 11 October then, my man. Like you said, the submission defenses are phenomenal. The camp Pitbull's got there going with Mark Herbert has top caliber jiu-jitsu guys that are slapping on the submissions during this camp day in and day out, I'm sure. And like you said, Pitbull is so tough. They don't call him Pitbull for nothing. So I don't see a KO TKO finish coming. And I don't know if Soulja Boy can last 25 minutes. Can he avoid those big punches that's going to put the lights out? We'll have to see come fight night, guys. Get your tickets. Check it out. EFC 23.
No, 24.
24, my bad.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. All right, guys, let's get into our next installment of MMA Essentials with John Luca.
Hey guys, welcome to MMA Essentials with Luca. Today we're going to be talking about mouth protection, in particular the gum guards. Guys, this is a really important piece of equipment that we got here. I would probably say, apart from the groin guard, the most important piece of equipment that you're going to have. So don't skimp on this, guys. Basically, you're looking at two different kinds of gum guards that you can have. You've got the boil and bite, and you've got the dentist's alternative, which you can get specifically made to your teeth. Now, guys, there is a little difference in price. Obviously, the dentist alternative is more expensive, but if you've got crooked teeth or missing a few teeth or looking for something that fits a lot more snug, and you want to be a little bit more cautious with your mouth protection, the dentist alternative is definitely the way to go. The boil and bite, a little bit questionable, especially if you're looking to take your fighting a lot more seriously, guys. In terms of price, you're looking at about between 50 and 150 bucks for the boil and bite, and you're looking from about 350 bucks upwards for the custom made alternative. I would highly recommend the custom made alternative. It fits like a glove. It's specifically for you, offers better protection. It's not going to fall out of your mouth when you talk, when you train, or do anything like that, especially if you're going to take some serious shots to your mouth. You don't want your gum protection falling out. Also, highly recommended, always get yourself a nice little carry case for your gum protector. This is just for hygiene purposes, as well as just looking after the stuff that you have. You've gone and spent a bit of money, you might as well look after what you've got. Guys, that's basically it. See you guys next time on episode 3, where we'll be talking about boxing gloves, guys. Take it easy, train hard, fight easy. Cheers.
Alright guys, then once again we had one of South Africa's top amateur MMA promotions, Fighstar 4, happening a couple of weeks ago. It was an absolutely phenomenal event. Grant, I'm telling you now, the direction that you guys are going in, it's definitely something that the other promotions can look up to. It's just so professional for an amateur event.
Yeah, take it from me. I've been on this particular side of the circuit for a couple of years now. I've fought down in Durban, I've fought up here, I've fought at different promotions down in PA and Imagine, who also put up a great show. And Grant and the guys from Fightstars are really putting up a great show. They're putting up great fights, and you get the people interested in the sport as a whole. I think you are doing a very great justice to South African MMA with what you're trying to achieve there.
No, most definitely. And once again, a fight card that was stacked with the absolute best that the amateur division has to offer. There's only one
fights that delivered.
Yeah,
it did. It's not just that we're saying there's names out there. You had Mark Hume on the night, you had Madiba on the night, you had Cowboy on the night. There was so many great fighters on the night, and they all put up fights, man. There was a couple of crackers.
Big time. Great submissions, great knockouts. The first ladies fight on the Fighstar card, Santa Marie Fenter, shutting up a lot of her critics, scoring a TKO victory as far as I'm concerned. It's a KO victory, not a TKO
She
victory.
hit that girl really hard, man.
My word.
That was really a crack of a fight. She really did ladies MMA in this country justice that night. Both of them did. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next from both of them, and obviously from a lot of other ladies that are hovering around this borders where they want to get onto these nice cards, these big cards.
It's time, eh? It's
happening.
The rise
it's
of the ladies
right now.
I'm very happy about that. Ladies, please get into contact with the amateur organizations. Get on the fight cards. We want to see you there.
Get your asses in the gyms. Get training. Get those skill sets up there. There are ladies out there that are grinding it out like the guys, man, and their skill set is climbing every day. If you're serious about fighting, now's the time, girls.
Definitely. Hey, then on Fighstar, as far as I'm concerned, the major highlight of that evening, middleweight title fight featuring my man Gordon Roodman against Karen Davies. It was an absolute slugfest. An absolute slugfest, my man. I was so proud to sit on the sidelines and to know that, listen, there is a teammate getting into that cage with Karen Davies. Karen Davies, a well-decorated fighter. Gordon Roodman, a very well-decorated fighter as well. Both of them will be going pro very soon. At the end of the day, the fight did not turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out. You took that loss. A very deserving win for Kieran Davies at
Kieran,
the end
my
of the
man,
day.
you put up a phenomenal fight. It was by far the fight of my life. I'd been into early second rounds before, easy here and there, 3-minute round kind of stuff. I'd never gone 20 minutes in the cage with a top caliber guy like you. And to me personally, the result may not have gone the way that I wanted it to, but building up to that fight, I'd always said all I wanted to do with that fight is prove that me and Kieran are the top of this particular frame of MMA in this country, and all I wanted from us was to put up a fight, man. And damn, I think we did that part. So as far as that goes, the fight went the way I believe I wanted it to go. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Kieran, you won that fight, my man, and big up to you. I'd always said that you got gold in your future, real gold. Stick at it, and I still believe that. I really believe that one day you're going to be the champ, boy.
Maybe one day we'll see you guys square off again in a little bit of a larger cage. You never know.
You never know.
All right, guys, and what CageSide is going to do is at the beginning of December, in our final show of the year, we will be having our official and own CageSide MMA Awards. This is the opportunity where you, the fans out there, can vote for your favorite fighter, favorite amateur fighter, knockout of the year, submission of the year. It doesn't matter. And what's going to make this award show so special is I'm not going to sit down, Gordon's not going to sit down, we're not going to be choosing the guys out there that we thought were amazing. We are going to give you the opportunity to post on our Facebook page, post on our Twitter page, send us emails. All of the details will be on Facebook and on Twitter. Let us know who you saw. We'll go out, we'll find the video footage, we'll check it all out, then we'll put them all together, and then you guys can vote on that. Because at the end of the day, award shows should be for the fans, not for the guys upstairs or for guys like us that just really enjoy MMA to sit down and just decide between the two of us.
At the end of the day, you hear it being said so many times. You've got fighters after fight saying we fight for the fans, and it's always about the fans. The fans fill the seats, they pay the bills, and normally you end up with ranking system, award bases, and all of this leaves a lot of people always saying, how did they make that decision? How did they get there? This time it's easy. We're going to do this in the public forum. We're going to do it right there where everybody can scrutinize the results being said. And at the end of the day, we want the fans of this country to tell us who excited them this year, who did what that wowed them. And at the end of the day, we'll make those the winners.
Damn right, man. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us once again on our fourth installment of CageSide.
Yeah.
Sorry for last month. It didn't happen, but we had a lot of scheduling issues. We will be carrying on as usual. We thank you for joining us. Please keep on sending the feedback. We really appreciate it. As usual, we're going to end up with the video of the month. This time it's not an actual fight. It's a awesome comment by the original Snide, Wesley Hawkey. Check it out. I'm Wes.
I'm the Rage.
We're out, man.
Wesley, after tonight, where is Wesley Hawkey going from here?
Back to Durban.